All right, welcome back. So you've determined you're going to start a garden, and with my advice, you've started with a container. A container garden. You can do all sorts of different types of things in container gardening, but there are several things that you need to be aware of when you container garden. One, you want well draining soil. You want a container that has drain holes in them. So if you buy a pot that doesn't have holes, if you buy a window box like this, you want to drill holes in it. And sometimes you want to make sure you just have one or two more holes than you think you need, because I will guarantee you it won't drain as well if you only do a couple holes like maybe it kind of just says to do. You know how you got like these, here, this has got a little bit of dirt in it, but what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you, see if you can see it. These have like an outline of a hole. And so I drilled, actually that has dirt in it. I drilled holes in it with my DeWalt drill. But I'm telling you, I've used that. This is the third year I've had that window box. I will probably put some more holes in it. It doesn't drain as nicely. You want drainage holes. You want to make sure your containers are big enough for roots. So a 5-gallon bucket works really well. Larger containers work really well. And sometimes I'm trying to see if I have, let me show you what I have here for, and I mean by a larger container, sorry. So like this type. And I wish I could tell you what quart that is, but I kind of don't remember. So you want it to be a certain height or a certain depth so your roots can get strong, because strong, healthy roots give you strong, healthy plants. If the system is too shallow, they're not going to want to produce well for you, which I've had happen when I have planted peppers in something like this. Now, I still got peppers. They just did not produce as well as the pepper plants that were in 5-gallon buckets. The next thing is your soil. So you want well draining soil. I really suggest you go with potting mix. And everyone's gonna have their opinion on potting mix. And I don't necessarily have like this, oh, you have to buy X, Y, or Z. I buy Miracle-Gro potting mix. You don't want garden soil. You don't want raised bed mix. Those things are not going to have the drainage that you need. Now, the potting mix is going to have some types of fertilizer-esque things in there, nutrients that'll be good for your plants, but that's not really why I suggest it. I suggest it because it has more peat and stuff in it for well draining. When you have a container your plants are going to be growing in, if your soil is consistently wet way too much, is not draining properly, is holding on to moisture, you will get root rot and your stuff won't grow. They'll die. So you don't want to rot your roots. So you want well draining soil. And literally, I just buy Miracle-Gro's potting mix. That's what I buy. And I'm probably sure someone would have a problem with that, but I don't care, because that is what I get. I get a huge bag from Sam's. Actually, I buy a lot. Because I have a lot of containers. So, but yes, that's what you want to do. You can get, you can order, Fox Farms has wonderful soil, but it's pricey. And if you're starting and you're on a budget and you really just are looking to cut costs at the grocery store, or just kind of dip your toe into gardening and see if it's something that you really want to do, I don't suggest going out and buying a ton of things. I suggest starting small. And that's one of the things, is potting mix, containers, and I don't think you need to spend a ton of money for things. That's just me. So those are the things that I suggest when starting small. Is you do potting mix, Big containers, I think I'm going in circles. Oh well, oh well. It's, you know what? This is the I don't know what I'm doing gardening channel. Come along and don't know what you're doing with me. Learn from my mistakes. Actually, that should be a really good tagline. Learn from my mistakes. I don't know what I'm doing. Learn from my mistakes. So those are the two things that were next on my list to go over. I'll go over seeds in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Grow something beautiful and grow something delicious.